Huntress wizard reaches the source of the evil that poisoned Finn, but that bush isn't just any bush, it's far more important than anyone could imagine. In fact, her own story began right there. The episode flashes back to a time long before she became the powerful green sorceress we know today. Back then, she was only an apprentice, a disciple of the grand spiritual wizard, who guided her on the path to mastering magic. To prove herself worthy of such power, she had to face an almost impossible test, splitting a rock in two using nothing but a single branch. A challenge that demanded perfect balance, both physical and mental. Days, weeks, maybe even months passed until she finally succeeded. When the stone broke, she discovered a hidden fang inside it. The Grand Wizard warned her that before she could continue, she had to make an offering. Without hesitation, the young apprentice cut her own hand with the fang, paying the price for the power she sought. The wizard then led her before the Enchantress Witch, leader of the Green Wizards. She accepted the tribute and with a burst of pure magic, restored the girl's hand. In that moment, green energy surged through her body, and thus, the Huntress Wizard was born. Meanwhile, Fionna and Cake refused to sit idly by. They returned to Queenie's property, determined to keep their promise and reclaim what rightfully belongs to their friend. But their plan quickly falls apart when they make too much noise and wake the caretaker, who turns out to be none other than Siphon. He was fired from his old job and now works under Queenie's command. Back in the forest, the Huntress Wizard stands before the very same bush that poisoned Finn, but she soon makes a chilling discovery that bush is also the source of her own magic, the same one we saw at the start of the episode. The guardian bear protecting it reveals itself to be the Enchantress Witch, the leader of the Green Wizards. Furious, the witch accuses her of breaking their sacred pact. She was never meant to reveal the source of her power, but the Huntress had done it for a noble reason, to keep Finn away from this cursed forest. Ironically, her attempt to protect him caused exactly what she feared most. The Enchantress is enraged. She declares that Finn must die for desecrating the sacred site and forbids the Huntress from taking any sample of the bush. The tension explodes into a fierce battle. Despite the witch's powerful spells, the Huntress manages to withstand them and ultimately defeats her. She pins the witch down, who warns that defiling the source of her power will unleash something terrible. But the Huntress doesn't listen. Determined, she inserts the tool to take a sample, hoping to create a cure for Finn. What seemed like a noble act turns into a tragedy. That tree wasn't just a magical symbol, it was alive. A colossal creature with the body of a deer and the head of a bush, the same being that had once given power to the Green Wizards. But now, wounded, the creature begins to die. Its energy fades away, and with it, all the magic once shared with its followers. One by one, the wizards lose their powers, returning to simple mortal form. Realizing what happened, the Enchantress bursts into rage, blaming the Huntress for everything. Without hesitation, she orders an attack. Dozens of non-magical stakes fly toward the Huntress. One of them pierces her just as a vortex opens in the sky. The Huntress is completely sucked into it, vanishing into an unknown dimension. The stake that impaled her carried a stick of dynamite that explodes in that instant, disintegrating her body entirely. Meanwhile, back in Fionna and Cake's world, everyone feels defeated after their failed attempt to retrieve Gary's belongings. But the angriest of all is Cake. Now that she knows they're facing an actual god of fire, she's eager to strike back. Fionna shares her determination, but refuses to risk losing her friend out of revenge. A sense of melancholy fills the air. Fionna feels guilty for not being able to help Gary achieve his dream of owning his own bakery. Marshall is also worried. He's got nowhere to stay, but as expected, Gary offers him his home. Then a TV program sparks something inside Fionna once again. She realizes they can't give up. If they want to take back what's theirs, they'll have to rise higher and stronger than ever before. In the land of O, Simon and his students are doing everything they can to help Finn. Some suggest trying to extract the poison, but what really matters is tracing the origins of the forest that infected him. Using his experience, Simon realizes something far worse. Finn hasn't just been poisoned, he's under a powerful enchantment. His worry deepens, but help, or something that looks like it, finally arrives in the form of an ambulance. Ironically, that same ambulance crashes right into the classroom, leaving the rescuers injured before they can even help anyone. Meanwhile, Fionna and Cake's group shows up riding a Menti-Tank, ready to take back the property by force, even if it means causing some collateral damage. But just before the battle begins, they discover something unexpected. The place is for sale. So they decide to buy it together. The plan might actually work, though Fionna is clearly disappointed she won't get to have a proper fight. Elsewhere, the Huntress wizard awakens. She's not dead, not exactly, but her body is shattered, floating through a void of raw energy. In that strange limbo, she has a vision of Finn. He tells her he's been thinking about letting himself die soon. She's heartbroken, warning him that doing so would mean forgetting her. But Finn promises he never will. Then the energy around her starts to move. Fragments, objects, and pieces of her body begin to gather, slowly rebuilding her, not entirely human anymore, but something new, a living form of energy within that dimension. All around her, tiny glowing eggs drift away through countless realities. In one of them, a world where everyone is a baby, one of those eggs is swallowed by a creature. Only time will tell what kind of consequences that will bring, or if that doorway will ever open again. Fionna manages to contact Simon to ask how Finn is doing. She tells him everything that's happened, that she's taking care of the baby version of Finn now. Simon, however, looks on in frustration. The so-called paramedics are completely useless, clueless about what they're doing. Even without being a doctor, Simon clearly understands more than they ever could. Meanwhile, in another dimension, the Huntress wizard witnesses something incredible. The branches around her begin to light up with flashes of energy, portals, gateways leading to different worlds. She no longer has a physical body. Her mortal form has died, but her essence remains alive, pure energy. And with that comes a new chance to be reborn wherever she chooses. The Huntress closes her eyes and listens. She must let the voices of the worlds guide her. Among all the echoes and vibrations, she hears Simon's voice. Her mind recognizes it. She believes it's the call of the land of Oo. So she answers and is reborn inside one of the eggs scattered across the multiverse. But there sits a problem. The Huntress wizard still has no physical body. To regain one, she needs something essential, Earth itself. That egg she's reincarnated into is nothing more than a seed, and unless someone plants it, she'll never grow or return completely. Fionna remains worried about Finn. She asks Simon to take care of him, knowing she can't travel to that world herself. So, resigned, she focuses on the baby Finn in her arms, trying to soothe him. She tells him he has to behave, though her words carry more fear than scolding. Deep down, Fionna's not really talking to him, she's voicing her own fear. She's terrified that if she can't keep her world together, everyone she loves will drift away. And so, with that melancholy note, the episode ends. The Huntress wizard seeking rebirth, Finn still in danger, and Fionna confronting her own doubts about what it truly means to care and to be cared for.